Welcome to the Careering Podcast, a collection of rants and reckons on all things career, hosted by author and creator of Careering 9, Melissa Davies, and her partner in crime, Kelsey Ingalls. If you're brave enough, take a seat, settle in and listen as we tackle difficult career and workplace issues. Sometimes we'll be wrong, sometimes we'll be right, but we will deliver it with confidence and a touch of colourful language, so it will at least be entertaining. Cool. So welcome back to the Careering Podcast. Thank you for coming back. I am Melissa Davies and I'm here with my co-host, Kelsey Ingalls. So thanks for coming back. And normally we would kick off with the theme of the week, but we're doing things a little differently this week because we are doing our first ever quad pod. We have got two amazing women hanging out with us today who are both giggling at me calling this a quad pod. I'm very excited about the brand I've given it. So I want to introduce you to Jen and Jane. So actually, I'm not going to introduce you to them. I'm going to say hi to Kelsey and then I'm going to get them to introduce themselves. So hello, Kelsey.
Oh, hi. I'm just here, as always. It's absolutely fine. I'm the boring part of this week. Moving on. Jen and Jane, bring it. We got some new energy, team, and I'm super excited about it.
I feel like I need to, jump in. Like, literally.
Fucking do it. Get in there. Tell us.
Yeah. Tell us about yourself, Jen.
So hello world. We're Jen and Jane from Jen and Jane's Excellent Adventure.
Which is an excellent name, by the way.
Right?
It's fucking amazing.
So I think before we actually jump into what we do you know what it comes from? Do you know what our name stems from? Jen and Jane's Excellent Adventure?
From Bill and Ted's Excellent.
Yes. Okay.
No, yeah.
So
yeah.
we were doing a training before this, and we had to just make sure that people knew what Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was because we realized we're old. We're old.
But it's Keanu, right? Like, don't you have to everyone should know that.
Yeah. So that's where it stems from. So, yes, we are Jen and Jane from Jen and Jane's Excellent Adventure, and we help women with their money mindset. We strengthen their relationship with boundaries. We help them with biz ownership, and we like to do it in a way that helps them build their excellent adventure as well. So it's not you do this. It's like, how can you install fun into your business? How can you make it yours rather than copy and paste from someone else? So that's something that we love to do.
It kind of sounds like the choose your it sounds like the choose your adventure books when you're a kid, and it's like you need the tools in your toolkit so you can survive and get to the last page of the book. So I like this. This is very cool. There's obviously a lot of thought that's gone into shaping the brand positioning you want it to take and how you want it to be.
It's taken a really long time. We will not sugarcoat this, will we, Jane? This has taken a really, really long, 2 years now to figure out that positioning. So for anybody listening who still struggles with that, trust me, it takes time. So thank you for seeing that, because that's something we've been trying to work on forever.
Well, gold stars to you girls, because we know it's not easy, but to get one that lands, that resonates with you as well, I think is really cool. And it reflects your energy. Like, you both show up like you're ready for adventure and fun. So that's awesome.
Jane wants gin.
Jane needs gin this morning. It's been one of those weeks already.
This is why you're on our podcast, because we always need gin. But tell us about, so that's the business side of things, but tell us about you personally. Give us a fun fact from each of you to start us off.
I suppose so. The name comes from my obsession with Keanu Reeves, and being 43, I'll put it out there. I was in his fan club at 10, which is probably a bit weird, but that's all right. So it's my lifelong obsession that translated into a business name, which our accountant thinks is absolutely hilarious. Fun fact about me. Oh my God. I'm trying to think. I've got an extra bone in my foot that I only discovered when I started running 20 years ago. I know, random. There's a fun fact about me.
Yes, so that would have been my justification for stopping running. I was like, I can't. I've got an extra bone in my foot. Can't do any more running.
What about you, Jen? What have you got?
God. Let's say, I won the spelling bee in 2nd grade, and that has now become a very important part of my life of learning, like, spelling. I'm obsessed with spelling and grammar. So I think it's fun to know that I have translated those skills when I was 7 years old into my life now. Side fun fact, my mom still has the spelling bee award.
Do you remember what the last word was? Like, what was the word that won it?
No, but I do know the word that I lost to in 5th grade, because I didn't win in 5th grade, and that's zaniness. Do you know how to spell zaniness?
Absolutely not.
ZAINESS?
No. Good try, though.
I can see the look of disappointment in Melissa's face that she doesn't know.
I've never seen it work.
Oh, my God.
Down.
Spelling bee champion here. Fun fact. 2nd grade.
Love it.
It says I did spell it right, actually.
What?
Oh, God, she's got her phone out. I love it.
No, I'm also a word nerd, so hearing Jen talk about this makes me so happy, and I feel like Jen and I need to go and have a secret meeting of the Word Nerds Society of Autotahi, just the two of us, and do crosswords together and find weird words, and it will just make me so happy. So I'm like, I want to be in your club. Like, I want you to like me and invite me in. Like, I'm really excited about this.
I laughed when you talked about choose your own adventure, because I instantly went to the fact that I used to go to the end first to try and work backwards, so I would never lose. So there you go. That's me in a nutshell.
This is why you've got into business consulting. You're like, what's the objective? Where am I going?
I'm like, I don't want to lose. I haven't got a lot of time being 10 when I read those books. So I actually just need to get to the end bit. And not fail at this choose your own adventure thing. So that's me in a nutshell. Totally.
So good.
Well, I think this is great, because normally when Kels and I, it's just me and her, we end up in a bit of a therapy session, and it's the sad side of our childhoods. So it's actually really awesome that you two are bringing this energy, which is some fun memories from childhood. And
we can talk about not fun ones.
No. Well, actually, the theme we wanted to cover off with you two this week, because we are in our F Word series, and we're continuing that, and we wanted to talk about fun with you two. We know it's a founding ethos for your business, but also how you two like to live life. So keen to hear from you around why fun is so important to you personally and also in business.
Ooh. Jane, do you want to kick it off, or?
Do you know what? It's so nice to see someone else struggle with Melissa's first big question, because she normally throws it at me every week. And I'm normally like, fuck, like, why? Why do we have to start here? And it's so nice seeing someone else struggle that it's not just me.
Oh, I mean,
it's good.
I like to let Jane go, because I can literally just go off for an hour. So I always like to just let Jane start things, because I can't stop. So please, Jane.
I think for me, it's the fact that we do this thing called work or jobs or whatever you want to call it for a long time. That there's a whole thing about that can't be, the whole, it's Monday. I actually love Mondays because my kid goes to school and I don't have to see her for the whole day. So, and coming back from a long holiday together as a family, I'm like, please get out of my face. I am becoming more of an introvert the older I get, but, the fact that we do this thing for a long time, and that might be, I'm sure we've all had many a job that we'd like to forget, or many a boss that we'd like to forget, or many a situation we don't want to think about. I think Jen and I came to this business from not similar backgrounds, but just come from it from a place of very early on saying, this is going to be something that is going to be hard work, and we're going to cry and it's going to get tough, but we want to have fun in the stuff that we do. Like, it's like the layer that we wanted to build the house from, because we both put in so much time and energy into it, and we've both got other things going on, and we just know what feels not good at work. So, fun for us was a really, really important part of that. Thus the name. Like, you know, when people try and name things and it takes them, it's like the hardest thing. It was literally seconds. And I can't even remember. Maybe there was alcohol involved, but it was literally seconds. And it just very quickly defined where we come from. So, you know, if we ever end up going into a New York conference room with loads of big executives and they read our name out, at least people instantly go, I think there's a feeling of relax a little bit, because we talk a lot about money and we talk a lot about systems and we talk about a little about all that stuff that we know really well, but that we come from it from a place of, let's just chill out a little bit here, shall we? Let's just sink into some of this stuff and have a bit of fun. And if I can laugh at work, then I'm done. Like, that's done for me.
What about you, G?
Well, I've always been weird. Like, I'm just a weird person in general. Like, just like me.
That's your TED Talk.
Yeah,
I've always been weird. This is why.
Yeah. And me and Jane were friends first, so we've been friends for about 6 years now, and we just have a very similar weirdness.
Melissa and I can relate.
Honestly, listening to your past podcast, I was like, it's like we're twins of each other. Like, I was like, I would have this conversation with Jane. I would have this exact conversation with Jane. So we just have a good time together. And again, we wanted to bring that part of our relationship into our business. And for me, I personally love to find fun in the most mundane things. So, for instance, setting up my work week or planning out my week. You know, some people want to scratch their eyes out doing that. But for me, I literally get like this little I literally skip to the coffee shop. I am so excited, but I make it fun because I make it an outing. I'm making an experience. And for me, we try to do that in our business when we can. You know, some stuff is serious, but other than that, like bringing fun into the mundane things is really important for me, because you don't have to do everything the way everybody else does it. And I think that's just something we kind of harp on in our business, is like, you can take the time to stop and say, is this working for me? Is there another way to do it? Can I make it more fun? And that's kind of where it's seeded from, is that we just really like to make things, regardless of boring admin shit or, you know, exciting strategic work. We like to have a fun element to it.
How do you make that fun? I guess that's the interesting piece for me as I go, you know, fun means different things to different people. So in your world, Jen, how do you make planning fun?
Well, I'm a planning nerd. So that's like, I look at what I love to do, and also like connect it with something else that I love to do. So it's almost like habit stacking. So I know that I love to plan my week, or I love to strategize. So how can I make that fun with something else that I enjoy? So another thing that I love to do is plan out using Post-its. So if I've got to plan a course, or
it's a party at Jen's house, I tell you what.
Honestly, they're everywhere. I've got them everywhere.
Me too. Look at all of them.
The trees are crying right now.
Melissa walks into my house and she's like, what's changed on the Post-it note list on the wall?
Oh my God.
But for me, I just try to pair things that I enjoy doing together. And making it fun.
Double the fun.
Post-its are fun for me. So can I build out something in our business that might not be as much fun, but I can make it fun with Post-its, because Post-its bring me joy. So like,
I completely understand.
Yeah, right. It makes work enjoyable. It makes almost all work enjoyable when you can find that happy medium or crossover. So for me, it's just looking at, what do I enjoy in my personal life, or what do I enjoy doing in business? And I kind of try to marry them together.
Love it.
I don't try to make it, it's not a hard process. Like, I don't try and like think about it too much. It's just like, what do I enjoy doing? What do I need to do? How can I make that enjoyable as well?
I do not like Post-its. I'll say that right now. For us, as very similar that we are, I think we're very similar in the fun aspect, but we are very, very different brains. The two of us, very different. I generally come at it from I think about how a person feels first, whereas me and Jen had this conversation only very short time ago, that if we're in a room and we're talking about something with somebody, I instantly go to how's somebody feeling about it, or what's the process in their emotional state going to be, whereas Jen instantly goes to the how does it, like she can see the workflow, right? That we instantly go to those two very, very different places. And I suppose for me, I over the years have got, I think, pretty good at understanding how people feel about stuff, or if we're talking about something from the way that they're behaving, what somebody's going through or thinking about. So then I can try and, probably it's a coping mechanism, try and make humor out of that situation. Having worked in some very dark jobs before, we got really good at making things quite fun and full of humor if we could. So,
can I ask what kind of dark jobs you're talking about?
Well, I'm not going to say I didn't work in like a funeral parlor or anything like that.
I was going to say, like, like a mortician, or like, what's going on?
I was in charge of makeup. What is that person called who does the makeup in a funeral?
I don't know, but they are fascinating, and the fact that they amazing. Anyway, I don't know how we got there, but like
that wasn't my job. I worked in family and sexual violence for about 15 years. Yeah, so it was a very and I've never worked with probably a bigger team. An amazing bigger team since, really. I had a boss who's just incredible, like absolutely incredible. And we constantly just tried to find things that were fun to do as a team, because obviously this work was pretty intense. And so I think just having that I remember sitting in lockdown, and we had so much, we were so busy. We had so much work to do. We had so many deadlines of things to change and shift and work out. And my boss is like, let's make a group where we decide what baking we're going to do today. Because everyone was sliding into that, when you started drinking at 4 and then it got to 3 and then it was 1:30. She's like, we need to do something about that. So it was like, let's find fun things to do today. So we all started like roller skating and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, just trying to find those moments during the day. For me, I always just think if we're in a session with a client and somebody's like really struggling with something or it's really difficult, it's like, right, what is the thing that we can take from this that's like just silly, ridiculous, or that's just going to make you like kind of pull out a little bit from it, especially if it's something that is on the scale of things minute, but it's just become this really massive thing. So yeah, I'm not Post-it notes. They're not my jam.
So like you brought up a really good point there, right, though, is that you've got in a job and you've got a shit ton of stuff to do, and often never enough time for the to-do list that we end up having and putting on ourselves. How do you guys suggest making sure that fun still happens in that place? Like, how do you coach the people that you work with to make sure that fun is always part of what they're doing? Because it's so easy for it to be the first thing to go.
I'd say firstly, throw your to-do list out of the window. That's the first thing that we'd say.
Love it.
And
the organizer in me is having a panic.
Yeah, I know. Jen will expand on this, but I'd say throw it out the window. And also there is enough time. Like I don't mean to come at that from an annoying as hell person, but there generally is enough time. And I think we always, like, we've done this, we've talked about this a lot. We do talk about time a lot. And we say to people, if there's not enough time during the day, how much time would make enough time? Would it be 30 hours in a day? Would it be 50 hours in a day? Would it be? And people generally go, oh, right.
I will never get to the end of my to-do list.
Yeah, we'll never get to the end, right?
Enough hours.
Yeah. So when it comes to the reframing of a to-do list, yeah, the fact that it is infinite. I read this great book called Work for a Reason, and it was kind of like this tough love guide to basically sort your shit out. You've got a job to do. Just do the fucking job. Like, it was, it's this no holds barred, just suck it up, princess, do the work. And one of the things this person recommended was to change your framing and go, what is the shit I have to get done by the end of the week? And when you look at it through that lens, it's maybe 2 or 3 big rocks. But when you've got a to-do list, you can quite easily put down, take the cat to the vet, do this, do that, all the stuff that you just want to move from your brain to somewhere. And then that's why overwhelm sets in when you're on 17 pages. There's no way you're going to get through that. Whereas if you take a step back and go, yeah, what is the shit I need to get done? So I literally have a document, a Word doc that's called STGD, shit to get done, and then the end of the week's date. And I go, okay, cool. If I do these 5 things this week, I'm hitting my straps. Like, I've shifted the dial in a good way. Whereas when I used to have those long lists and the emails and all of that, I'm like, no, that's not on my shit to get done list. It doesn't make my life better in any way. So I'm not going there. So yeah, that was, I guess, my take on it. But keen to hear from you, Jen.
Well, there's a few things. One, fun can be planned, just like everything else in your business. It doesn't have to be spontaneous. It can be planned. And I think a lot of the times we also need to define fun to ourselves of what that actually is. Because if you're to say fun, I think clowns and like birthday parties are like some crazy, like loud shit going on. But in reality, fun for me is being able to go on a walk to the Botanic Gardens, and fun is, going to a networking event on a specific topic that I love, or fun is going to a new stationery store, or you've got to define what fun is to you. It doesn't have to be a specific activity. It could also be a feeling of as well. But one of the things about to-do lists that we actually teach in our coaching sessions and programs is that we don't look at it as a to-do list. We look at it as the priorities that you want to get done during the week, and how those relate to your overall goals. And then you break those down into 3 big tasks for each day. And what that ends up doing is you don't see anything else besides that work. So when you're done, you're done. When you're done with those big 3, you're done. And that allows for fun. That allows you to go for a cheeky coffee, or go for a midday margarita if you want, or do whatever the fuck you want. But what it happens is we delay fun because we think we have to be serious in our business, when in reality, we all know our best ideas don't come from fucking work. They come from taking a long ass shower, or being on a hike, or having a conversation with a friend you haven't seen in a long time. It rarely is when you're in the moment of working. So for me, fun is priority. Fun is paramount. Fun is crucial. It's non-negotiable, just like self-care, because if we're not having fun, what the fuck is the point? What the fuck is the point of anything? If you're going to go out in your own business and you're not having fun, that's a therapy session, but also that's a question to ask yourself. I'm not having fun in my business. Why not?
Yeah, although I sit here and I go, as a founder, it's like, I'm delaying fun. I'll have fun later when I've built the business.
Yeah, well, that's it. And it's like we have to step outside of, I've not seen it yet, but apparently there's a program, is it on Amazon, that's about the 2 brains thing? So there's the work brain and it's a Patricia Arquette series. And apparently these people don't remember, they go to work and they have one brain.
Severance.
And then they step out. Yes. And it's like we still have this thing that we have to like clock off to then go and do, oh, now I'm me outside of this thing I call work. And it's like, why are those 2 things not interchangeable? If we go to the cinema at 2:37 on a Tuesday, we're like, this is the reason why we built and set up this business to do those things, because we've done the work that we needed to do today. And now we stop. But that thing of, I've just got to get one more thing ticked off before I can go. And oh my God, look, it's 7:30 p.m. and I haven't looked up. Is just not a thing that we aspire to, or we don't promote it as a thing at all with our clients.
How do you suggest breaking that cycle? Because I find it really hard to move when I'm in a workplace to set that boundary for myself and move it into that place, right? And I know, like, I love a bit of fun. Fun is definitely something that I would definitely rather promote, but I don't know, like, I get sucked into it and I'm like, I'm like, yes, I'm on board, I'm here, but like, how do I break it?
Yeah, because I think, and also I think the nuance piece here is that, Jen and Jane, you're typically working with people that have their own businesses, right?
Yeah.
Which is quite a different mindset to being an employee where there's someone else has expectations they place on you. So I was interested in that lens of things, like how, so if you aren't in control of your day as much, what would be some of the insights that you would share?
Well, fun doesn't have to be irresponsible. That's not how we define fun.
But the best fun is.
Yeah. The best fun.
It sure is.
The best fun is, holidays when you're, when you can be and do whatever you want. But when it comes to working for somebody else and injecting fun in your day, that comes to like the camaraderie and community of the people and teams that you work with. So it's not necessarily that you're doing fun things, but you're doing it together and you can have a laugh and you can have conversations or listen, I had a coworker at one of my past jobs where we had to do like these end of the month reports that we fucking hated. I mean, loathed so much. But what we ended up doing was we got, she brought in a mini fridge and she just stocked it with some like energy drinks. And then we blasted Prodigy. So we took the experience of a not so fun project and layered on the fun that is going to get us through. And one that built like such an awesome relationship with this person. And we had like this thing that we both knew we had to do. And so when we had to do it every month, it got less and less shitty because we knew we were going to do it together. It was fun. We did a little dance, got some Prodigy going, and we had our energy drinks and we got through it together. So for me, that ended up being a fun thing to do at work. So I think it's just figuring out what those added layers of fun you can do that aren't necessarily irresponsible, still allows you to do your job, but builds that connection with the team that still helps the overall goals of the business.
Yeah, I really like that because you're saying it's a choice, right? So you're saying it's your mindset, how you want to show up. It's how you want to view the task. And as a leadership style, like you can choose to be the fun leader that, it's kind of like when I have my nieces and nephews and I want them to help me do shitty jobs, I'm like, we'll crank up the music. There's always, a reward at the end of it, which could be do an activity or a cake or whatever. And it's that sense of community around it. I really like that. Okay, awesome. That's been a really cool insight as to what I love that we started talking about fun and we've spent a lot of time talking about planning. So I love that. That's making me giggle. It's one way to have fun. And I think there's some important, it's that intentionality and making a choice and setting it up so you can have fun. And then I think Jane's example of being in a team environment where you are looking for things that bring you together. I can imagine the team culture where you talked about that leader, Jane, that brought you all together in a tough environment. You'll remember the tough work and you remember the good work, but you'll remember the relationships and the people and the vibe will feel quite different to the type of work you were doing as a result of that. Is that right?
Yeah, totally. And I also think that just to, that last bit about what Jen talked about, I haven't worked in a workplace for a long time, but I do know that at some point we all assumed that the way that we were working was the way we wanted to work, when actually somebody in a meeting said, is this how we want to do it? And nobody had ever asked. So there were things that were able to shift around. Somebody wanted to be able to go and do a big bike ride during the day at work or blah, 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 blah. And my boss was like, yes, understandably, I had a very, very awesome boss who was very flexible. But she was like, make the day work for all of us and for yourself. But nobody had ever asked. Nobody had ever asked, well, actually, do we want to have meetings that are 3 hours on a Monday? Or do we all want to go out for lunch on a Thursday once a month? Or nobody actually ever asked whether or not that worked for us, which we get clients to do a lot, even if they work for themselves, asking themselves, does this work for me? And does this work for the way that I want to continue this into the future? So I think even if you do work for an employer, there's still a potential for you to say, is there anything we can do to change this up a bit that makes it work for people?
Awesome. I love that. There's both of your lenses on that are all about a sense of self and some self-empowerment around taking ownership to ask the question and try and shift it to a way that works for you, which I think is an awesome note to end things on. Kels, any final thoughts from you?
Oh, I'm taking it as full permission to throw out my fucking to-do list, and I'm going drinking at lunchtime. Yeah, my bit of one, my boss, my attitude's about to change.
Where are you? Oh, I'm at the cinema.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I once had a boss that when I started with him, he was like, look, I don't care if you're having a shit day and you just need to go and watch a movie for 2 hours, just go and do it. And I was like, that's the kind of culture that people need to be in.
That's the boss I had.
Yeah. It's a cool space. So no, I'm taking it as full permission to throw my fucking to-do list out and I'll do what I want.
Jane and Jen told me that I could go to the cinema. See ya.
Yeah. Peace out.
We'll write you a note.
I'll put it on my Slack status. At the movies, leave me alone.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So Melissa, let's wrap up with our tweet of the week. What have you got?
I've got one from Matthew Kobach, and I thought it was really interesting around the work from home or self-employed lens in New Zealand. And he suggests that maybe the reason it's hard to make friends as an adult is because we've created a culture where adults have no places to consistently see the same people, no walkable cities, no community gatherings, no shared activities, and repeated exposure breeds friendships. I quite like that. Otherwise, having fun on your own is not as fun. Hang on, this is going to take a turn. I do not mean that.
No, back it up. I'm gonna cut you off there, and we're gonna talk about the TikTok of the week.
Yeah, please. Save me.
So this one is from Ana del Castillo. And I just love it because I've got a lot of gluten-free friends, but this is my take on gluten-free.
Oh my God, I just found out something so exciting. Telling people to fuck off is gluten-free, so you can add that shit to your diet now.
I was like, I'm also taking that as full permission. Gluten-free, ladies, gluten-free.
It's a good code word when someone's really fucking you off. You're like, are they gluten-free?
Yeah. So fuck off is gluten-free. It's also dairy-free and vegan. So go for gold.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Jen and Jane, and thank you to everyone listening in. We do release these episodes regularly wherever you get your podcast, so please do subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and like us on all the channels. We do love questions, stories, and topic ideas, so send them our way. And so until next time, get out there, back yourself, and have a shitload of fun.